In the Atlantic Basin, just 5 days into this hurricane season, as we've talked about, we might be chatting about the Gulf a little more as we head into next week. But more importantly, we've got the Eastern Pacific season, which is well underway. Let's bring in Fox Weather hurricane specialist Bryan Norcross. He is joining us. Bryan, good morning to you. So we have Amanda. That first name is off the list. Now we wait to see where Boris might form.
Yeah, and it's really interesting the way this is all evolving, because it's right along the Mexican coast that these two potential development areas are. Let's take a look just at Amanda very briefly out here in the Pacific, well offshore of Mexico. When we look at this thing close up, we see there are some thunderstorms trying to develop kind of near the center. That's why they're maintaining it as a tropical storm. Here you can see the lower level clouds kind of come around this way. So they're kind of in the middle of the circulation. It's a minimal tropical storm, and it's just going to die out there in the Pacific. Not going to be a factor for anybody, not going to bother Hawaii, nothing and nothing with Amanda. All right, now let's talk about what this whole messy situation is that involves what's going on in the Eastern Pacific and Central America and the flow up into the Gulf, because they're all somewhat related. So we have two systems here that the Hurricane Center is mentioning. This one up here is they've got a 70% chance over the next 7 days of development, and this is now Invest 91E, and Invest meaning that there's enough of a circulation there that they can identify a system, and they're running the more advanced computer models on it that we'll have access to later today. So it's not really an upgrade so much as it's just that the system has become defined enough to go ahead and run those computer models. This one not, because there really is no circulation here worth talking about. They're down to 60%. I'm kind of thinking they may continue to go down if what we're seeing in the models is correct. And even this 70% seems pretty generous, as you'll see in the models here in just a moment. So looking at the big picture wind flow here, let's talk about the Gulf for a second. Here it is coming strong out of the Caribbean and then curving up into the Gulf. So this is what is pushing the tropical moisture north. Right now, it's more over in the Western Gulf. Certainly here in South Florida, it has been rainy and rainy and rainy every day. But again, it's all this moisture flow coming up in the Caribbean. Over here in the Pacific, if you notice, there are west winds down here going like this. And then we have these two areas of disturbed weather. Here's the one that's the Invest. You can see in the model, it actually has a circulation. This is the European model. And over here, where that other one is, see, it's kind of just a broad circulation. So this is where they're thinking that it's going to develop. But if you think about the big scale wind flow, the idea that the winds are going like this and then coming around like that, that's the way low pressure turns. So very often this time of year, when we get this kind of flow, we end up with some kind of circulation over Central America, just based on sort of the average kind of wind. Into May and June, we get that kind of a situation. Here, when we add the moisture, we can once again see over here, here's the Invest right here. Notice we got kind of a trying to turn right in there. And those are the two systems, and now we're going to watch. So here you see the moisture with this one, and you see the general moisture with that one. Okay, here we are today. Let's go forward in time now. And here we go, Saturday, Sunday. See, what's happening is this one down to the south kind of ends up over Central America. According to the European model, really doesn't do much, but it becomes a big rainmaker for Central America. This could be a threat. This one is still offshore now. This is on Monday. Well, still offshore, and it's got a circulation going there. So when we see the more computer models the NHC has later on today, we'll know more about that. All right, so there we are on Monday. Now let's go forward in time through next week up to next Thursday. And now we're getting, notice, a real circulation, big circulation. This is not a tropical system. This is just a big area of low pressure caused by the fact that these winds are kind of converging now. They're not way down to the south. They're actually kind of coming up and around like this. And you have general low pressure, Central American Gyre. A gyre is a big rotating thing over Central America. So, and it just forms this time of year. So here we are next Thursday, of this Central American Gyre forming. And all of the models basically agree that that's going to happen. It's after that that things get a lot more fuzzy. So that's, 6 days from now till next Thursday. Now, in terms of what might be developing by that time, this is the Google AI model with a 90% chance of development. And look, in that little tiny area, there's a 90% chance of development with that northern system. It doesn't do anything really with that southern system over these next 6 days. So really the odds are reasonably low of anything significant, but we're going to keep an eye on that one for that part of the coast of Mexico. All right, now we're going to go forward farther in time and look at it a different way. So that aggregate from Google was this 90% chance using 1,000 possible storm patterns, and it figures out where the 90% is. Now we're going to look at 3 different models. This is the European model, this is the Google model, and this is the European AI model. So 2 from the Euro and 1 from Google. We're not using the American GFS model because it wants to spin things up in the tropics. When somebody coughs, it kind of makes a hurricane down there. So we're not using that until they get that straightened out. And what you see is a cluster of possible low pressure systems here with that northern system and kind of a strung out mess down here and nothing in the Gulf. So this is what we talked about a moment ago. This is as of next Thursday. Now let's go forward in time here. Here we go, late Thursday and then to Friday and to Saturday. And you notice that what's happening here is we get this kind of consolidation here by Mexico in this area in here. This is still kind of strung out and low odds. And the way you say, well, what are the odds of one of those things happening? There are 150 possible L's. So you count the number of L's and you divide that 150 into that and you get a percentage, and that's how you know what the models are saying. You notice you have a little handful down here. So you have maybe a 10% chance, a little better chance of something up in here. And according to the models, essentially 0 chance here. There's a few little ones down here, but they're kind of over land, so that's really nothing. Okay, so now let's go forward in time. Normally, we don't want to go past a week in the tropics, but we'll just do it for amusement. We'll go through the following weekend. And what do we have here? You see things start to kind of move north. Nothing, nothing, nothing. That's Sunday. And now by Sunday, we get a handful in the Gulf of Mexico. But again, you're going to take that number of all of those and you're going to divide 150 into that. So you're going to end up with something in the 10%, maybe a little 5 to 10% chance of something doing, which we normally discount. If it's below 10%, we normally say, okay, we're not going to worry about it. But whenever there's a South American gyre down here, we're going to keep an eye on it, and just to be sure that nothing spins out. But the models really are discounting to a significant degree anything developing. Now, the other thing we're going to watch is the tropical waves are definitely coming off of Africa. Here they are, tropical wave, just a tropical disturbance that's caught in this general flow coming across the Atlantic. And when I go back and really analyze the model, I find that this is the wave that arrives over here where that gyre is and kind of combines with the moisture out of this system down here by Central America. That comes up, this comes over, and you end up with all this kind of coming together at the same time in about a week to 8 or 9 days. And so, we'll see. But again, based on everything we know right now, the odds are very, very low. The other thing I want you to notice is look at the way the winds are streaming here, the high upper level winds. They're all kind of streaming like crazy here. Notice all the clouds are kind of blowing that way. That means that the wind shear or the hostile upper level winds are really strong across here. And the difference in that relative handful of models that shows something in the Gulf is that it takes these strong winds here and kind of moves them back temporarily and leaves a gap in here. By far, most of what we look at says, nope, those strong winds are going to continue, which they very often do in June, but that handful of 2 handfuls really or so of individual models shows the upper level winds letting up. So anyway, guys, This is a low odds thing. It's not a no odds thing. So, we keep an eye on it. But it really, I think the way to think about this is what we watch in June, as opposed to any forecasts for anything to develop. There are always models that show spurious things. I'm not saying this is completely spurious, because it certainly could happen. But the way we do these things is we look at the odds of development, and the odds look low. And really, when nothing has developed, looking past 7 days is a problematic thing. You say, okay, the pattern is interesting. Let's keep an eye on that. Guys?
I'm glad you mentioned that about the GFS, right?
Yeah.
Because it's been rather inconsistent. I think, Bryan, and it's safe to say, it's what we're seeing this weekend. The influx of tropical, subtropical moisture along the central Gulf Coast, that is leading to some downpours. And as we look into next week, it's fair to say that tropical moisture doesn't seem to be going anywhere. I mean, regardless of if we get an actual low, right?
Right, absolutely. This is a very wet, continuous wet pattern for some part of the Gulf Coast, and that's going to shift around as these disturbances come together. And no matter what happens, it looks like more tropical moisture is going to converge there in Central America and get streamed to the north. So it's not that this is a complete no threat situation at all. It's just that to get tropical development, you need the weather pattern to come together and all the ingredients. That doesn't say anything about tropical moisture and the potential for flooding and other things that can come from that.
Yeah, I say, tracking the moisture, waiting to see how it eventually will present on radar. But even then, we do have areas of the Gulf Coast that have some very heavy rain in store for the weekend. And as you mentioned, South Florida, man.
Yeah, Miami.
It's been a soggy one. Miami through the Keys. So thank you, Bryan, for joining us this morning.
Absolutely.
Fox Weather Hurricane Specialist Bryan Norcross.